Hi guys, this is Brian, and we're looking at the work of Sculptor Dryden. He's doing a relief of terns, is it, Nick? Are these terns?
Yeah, it's like a terns.
Yes, one of the finished pieces. It looks pretty finished to me. And we've got another scene there of the terns in flight.
It's on a bit of a turn trip at the moment.
Another work of Nick's here on the wall.
Well, that's a bronze relief from an early series. Gosh, it must be about 6 or 7 years ago now. Urban Madonnas. This is a bit of marble. This is a nice piece of marble. This is a piece of Greek marble, actually. I bought back some years ago. It's sitting around for 10 years. Got to use these things. So when I want to do the turns, and the turns being so white, and this marble really is white. This is Pendali marble. This is the marble that built the Acropolis. This is from a big quarry on the edge of Athens. It's closed now, but it's the Greek equivalent of Carrara. It's the best. Very fine. Cuts nice and clean. Probably fuck it up now I said that.
Now, not only is Nick an artist, he's also an environmentalist, and he's a man who's got very high principles and had a couple of highly significant battles here in Wellington over areas of conservation importance, and the most recent one was on the south coast, Taurako Point, where developers wanted to actually pour concrete all over the place and ruin a lovely little coastal area. So, pretty interesting man here at work.
Well, it's funny how birds can become symbols too of things. I mean, in some ways that battle over the point. There's a flock of terns stop on that point every year. They come up about March and they hang out right on the point, right on that pebble mound for about a month and a half, 2 months on their way north. Every year, I've noticed it for about the last 20 years. I've been here about 25 years now. I've just noticed them every year. They've only just left a couple of weeks ago, actually. And there's a lot of them, several hundred of them. Must be, for some reason they like it there. It's far enough away from the road. There must be good fishing in the bay offshore or something, I don't know, but they like it there. We brought that up right at the beginning when we started fighting this development down here. It was just poo, no one to know. But then when we finally got into the environment court, the old terns actually came home to roost finally. They got a nice mention in the judgment. So to me, in some ways, carving these terns is a celebration of a happy ending. It's the dominance of nature again over the landscape. So I've done these reliefs from the position of the tern. You're one of the terns. And they're actually recognisable landscapes that are relevant to what we've been discussing. Look at that with the sun on them now.
Yeah.
Look at that, isn't that cool?
Great. It's wonderful. Absolutely wonderful.
Look at that, mate. Look at that. Getting on that. Isn't that nice?
It is.
See, that's the group over at the point itself. And there's the mountains of the South Island and behind.
Yeah.
Looking down towards the sunset. That one there's looking from above the point, looking back towards Island Bay. Red rocks. And that down there on the left. So they're all circling, coming back to the point. It's safe to come back. Yeah. So it's nice to be able to make something quite beautiful to celebrate what was quite an ugly bloody battle. they fight real dirty when they got all the forces. They don't like it. They don't like losing.
And it actually went on for about 8 years, didn't it?
Yeah, I think. Well, I remember that when we first put our first submission on it was in 1998, and I don't think a single argument changed until 2006 or 7 or whatever the hell it was when we finally won. Nothing changed. But in that time, it came up to in front of 10 commissioners and a judge or two. Amazing. Amazing amount of litigation went on, 2 hearings, and then the court. Well, it's the tactic, you see. They bleed you dry by just going on and bloody on. You put up an expert, they put up 3 experts. I mean, the major argument in the battle was natural character of the area. We had 2 people, a local guy discussing the recreation aspects of it and the landscape views, all that sort of stuff, and we had another woman, Di Lucas, who's a well-known landscape specialist. She spoke about its natural character and its scenic values and all that stuff. They put up 5 people, 5 experts, so they could say, oh, but you've only got 2 saying this, we've got 5 saying that, how can you be right? I mean, it's just insane where it's got to, that stuff. Mm-hmm. But in this instance, the court preferred our 2 to their 5, so
yeah.
bloody hard.
And only one useless councillor voted against it.
Oh, it was
that was just so
politically gone. Politically, you see, they're very assiduous in the shoulder tapping they did and the allies they made before they even came near the community. They had every dock and forest and bird and NIWA and nuclear sciences and prominent businessmen and tourism Wellington and every MP, every councillor except one. They had everybody. Everybody was there on it. They got them all on board. Strategy, Wellington, Infratil. God, Uncle Tom Cobley and all, but although they bought everybody and they had all the top experts, Megan Ray and Isabel Gavities, all there, the only thing they couldn't buy in the end was the truth.
Amazing, isn't it?
But it took a long time to get there. And I think it's a miracle if groups, community groups, ever do get to the ones that do get there and win in the environment court. It's just, there's such a huge achievement. It's just amazing that it can happen at all. It's such a difficult road, and it's so weird. So the turns are back on the point. 1 piece of Taka marble. That's a Greek marble I had, but that's appropriate since they go away on the other side of the world. Global vision. It's about global vision. That's why there are ellipses too, some of these. It's the same shape as an orbit going around the world. It's also a beautiful classic Greek shape, ellipse.
Okay guys, well we're going to leave it here because Nick and I are going to go and have something to eat, and this is only meant to be a 10-minute video for YouTube, but we've been talking to Nick Dryden, artist, conservationist, and I would really say raconteur, a man that can tell interesting tales. Not only tales, but true stories of situations in New Zealand where conservation has been challenged by developers and people who don't really care so much about the environment.